Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. Today, guys, we are going to look into the depth of the snake pit that is ice dance coaching team. Yes. As we head to the 2025-2026 Olympic season, I am about the tea, the drama, the mudslinging, the going for your kneecap. Now, everything I am about to say is mostly tea, rumor, drama, with a dash of we ain't blind or stupid, so we know that's what's going on. So, take this as you will. Now, we already know to expect a level of drama from all of the discipline in figure skating because we are heading towards the Olympic and figure skating gets extra dramatic for the Olympic. But for me, without a doubt, ice dance will be the most political, most muddy, and most corrupt of all the discipline. The reason for this is because ice dance was, and will always be a snake in the grass infested cesspool. To fully understand the current snake in the grass coaching team who are leading the 2025-2026 ice dance season, we must not only look at the current ice dance schools, but also at one of the most corrupt figures in skating, and that is none other than Grandpa Snake in the grass himself, Didier Gailhaguet. The infamous former head of the French Figure Skating Federation, Didier ruled figure skating from 1989 to 2004 and then again from 2007 to 2020. During his period of reigning, he was suspended because of a scandal, two of them. This man was so powerful in figure skating that at one point they called him Little Napoleon, Le Petit Napoleon. Oh my goodness. In 2002, he was excluded from all figure skating event for allegedly he brokered a deal to determine the placement of both the pairs and the ice dance event at the Olympic. Unfortunately, Didier did not get better with time, and his final removal in 2020 was for trying to cover up the sexual abuse of one of his coaches. However, you can't keep a good snake in the grass down because it is now alleged, that he is the puppet master behind the current French Federation president, Gwendolyn Nori, who is a former protege of Didier, is believed to be a figurehead while Didier is really the one wielding all the power behind the scene. Now, you're probably thinking, while this is fascinating, what does it have to do with ice dance? Well, this is where the snake pit gets slithering. As you know, ice dance is very politically inclined, where teams have to pay their dues and wait their turn regardless of their talent. The only exception to that is both a powerful coach and federation on top of a talented team. Rumor has it that once upon a time, Didier had a very promising young ice dance team he wanted to push to the top by the name of Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron. Didier believed that with his power and influence, this team could become world and Olympic champion. However, he needed the coaching team to help him achieve this. The legend goes that an unholy alliance was made between one Mr. Didier and the core of what would be known as the Ice Academy of Montreal, IAM, consisting of Marie-France Dubry, Patrick Lazon, Pascal Dennis, and later Roman Hagendauer. With the formidable power of Didier behind them, IAM would be incubated to become the premier snake in the grass dance school for ice dance. While on their website, IAM speak a good game about athletic support and positivity and protective environment, the reality is that IAM is just another predatory and corrupt as all the other school that came before it and all the other school which will come after it. Now, IAM, who are poised to possibly slither their way to at least 2 Olympic medals at the Olympic, is both judge heavy and team heavy. They boast a roster that includes Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. They also have the British team. They have Olivia Smart and Tim Diaz. They have Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. They basically have every team. They also have Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Lagat. Every team you could name from every federation is currently under IAM. But IAM is separated in both the premier team, bunny ears I'm making right now, you guys can't see, and the lower team. So the lower team, which is the Ice Academy of Montreal Ontario, which is IMO, is headed by Scott Moyer and Madison Hubble and husband Adrian Diaz. Now, the biggest team that they currently have under them is Christina Carrera and Anthony Podomarenko. So these are the core contenders of IM right now. Like I said, they basically have all the team that you could possibly think of. Now, IM was able to further solidify their placement as the #1 snake in the grass in terms of ice dance school when they formed another unholy alliance. They do love these unholy alliance with none other than one Miss Tutberidze. Now, why did they do this? Because Tutberidze comes with the 10% bonus that can only be earned through white enveloped dinners. Now, in return for IAM coaching Tutberidze's daughter and pushing her on top of God knows, so many more talented team, the 10% envelope dinner power of Iteri has now been transferred over to IM. There's nothing like a good Eastern European judge blocking to get the Olympic job done. These groups of snake are playing for the long game in ice dance dominance. And by that I mean, despite the fact that poor Diana Davis cannot find the inside or outside edge of her blade, I am with Tutberidze is going to push Diana Davis and Gleb Smokin right up that European and eventually world and Olympic podium. Good snaking right now. While I am maybe the biggest snake in the grass pit, they are not the only one. Some of the other notables who will be slithering their way into the ring this Olympic cycle include the Novi Ice Arena. Now, they are headed by Igor Spilburn, Pasquale Camelego, who, might I remind you, once upon a time, with partner Marina Zoueva, Igor reigned as the king of snake in the grass pit. No one slithered better than our good old friend Igor. However, all good things must lead to betrayal, and so did this partnership. Maria Medusa-sized queen snake that she is, kicked Igor to the curb and took all of their team. Igor to this day is still recovering from that blow. Currently, Igor has one contender in the ring, and that is none other than Amelia Zingras and Vladim Kolesnik. He is slithering his way to try to get this team to the top. They also have Evan Pate and Logan Bai, but I don't think he's slithering as much for them as he is for Zingras and Kolesnik. Another snake in the grass ice dance coaching staff comes from WISA, Wheaton Ice Skating Academy. They are head by Alina Novak and Alexei Kilikov. They are currently on the decline after they gave up some promising teams such as Caroline Green and Michael Parson and Emily Brady and Ian Somerville. Why did they give up these teams, you may ask? Well, it was so they could gain power via Tutberidze by taking away Diana Davis and Gleb Smoking from who? Igor Spielman! But you know, snakes will be snakes, and Iteri quickly dumped them and upgraded to bigger and better snakes in the form of I Am. Womp womp. It's not easy to get that good Putin money out of Iteri. Wisa currently has only one main team, which is Alexei Kilikov, which is the junior, and Elizabeth Teshchenko. That is their only team right now that's making a big noise. Next, we have MIDA, Michigan Ice Dance Academy, headed by Baby Snakes, Charlie White, Kenneth Belmont White, and Greg Zulin. Oh, never forget that ice dance is an incestuous cesspool because Kenneth and Charlie are baby snakes who were incubated by none other than Igor and Marina. And like true baby snakes, they benefited from Wisa's loss because they gained the team of Caroline Green, Michael Parson, Emily Bridey, Ian Somerville, Katerina Wolfskin, and Dmitry Travasky, as well as Rafaela Konskin and Alexei Shempetov. Ooh, they made off like bandit. They also have strong U.S. backing, and many are hoping that these baby snakes will slither their way right on top of IM head. But listen, with a group that is willing to get in bed with not only Iteri but Didier, I don't think they have what it takes to get the job done. Also, in the ice dance snake in the grass pit are Wasa, not to be confused with Wissa. No, Wasa is World Arena Skating Academy, headed by Alina Dostani. They are known for their rent-a-Russian male partner and teenage baby marriage. Ooh, everybody's got to have their gimmick. Their main contenders right now is Leah Nasset and Autumn Mekalev. Not really a contender for the Olympic, but there is potential there. To a lesser level, we also have the Rockville Ice Arena, headed by Dmitry Ilin. Many consider them to be the B team of MIDA, the same way Scott heads the B team of IM. And they have two promising junior teams, which is Caroline Mullen, Brendan Mullen, and they also have Olivia Ellen and Dylan Kane. Let's see if they can keep these team or if a bigger snake will come along and take them away. Another snake force out of Canada is the Boutique of Figure Skating Snake, headed by Caroline Lane. They come out of the Ice Dance Elite. Yes, because if you're going to be the boutique of snakes, you have to be elite. Their current teams consist of Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, Caroline Sassouz and Shane Ferris, as well as Nadia Bushmaska and Peter Beaumont. Now, they are going to have to play some political maneuver. Even though I feel like Piper and Paul are finally getting their dues, the judges seem to be warming up to them and seem to be placing them firmly in second place. I still feel like IM is not letting go of any medals if they don't have to. So our boutique of snakes is going to have to start slithering their way in order to maintain that medal for Piper and Paul. Out of Europe, we also have several snake contenders. Just staring you down is none other than the potential new queen of stare-down snake, Barbara Fusa Poli. Outspoken and fiery, Barbara is getting deep into the judge collecting game with several teams from several federations. However, their main contender is really Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri. They have taken quite the beating this season. Now Barbara really has to get deep into the gutter and slither her way up to these judges in order to get Charlene and Marco out of the pit that they are. Barbara's gold is a home medal at the Olympic for Charlene and Marco. However, to achieve that, Barbara is going to have to literally be spitting venom at IAM. I can't say which way this snake fight is going to go because I don't want to underestimate Barbara. But IAM is not a contender that is going to go down without a fight. We have to see. We must never forget that there are no degrees of separation in ice dance. So another snake coaching pit is none other than Mauricio Magalio, the former ice dance partner of Barbara. I would like to recommend that these two join force to take on IM, but given how volatile their partnership was, that might not be a good idea and blood may be spilled. So let's forget that. Mauricio currently has two really great teams, namely Julia Tequila Mateus Velus, as well as Yuka Arihara and Huno Puranen. They also have junior transitioning into senior team Daria Grem and Mikhail Savasky. They definitely have the talent pool. They definitely have the skaters. I just don't think they have the political pull to get the job done. But once a snake, always a snake, so you cannot ever discount them. Another ice dance team with close relationship is Matteo Zani, who once used to work as an assistant coach for Barbara Fuzzapoli. Again, figure skating is incestuous, but ice dance is a cesspool of incest. Matteo is proving himself to be quite the hidden snake, collecting teams and judges from every corner of the world. He currently has 13 teams and counting. Matteo is navigating the snake pit like a pro. His teams include the very talented sibling teams of Ekaterina Moskova and Danielle Masek, as well as Philippe Tashler and Natalie Tashlarova. I'm a huge fan of both of these teams, but again, they do need the political pull to get them to where they need to be. Probably the best producer of snake is none other than Mother Russia herself. And currently in Mother Russia and out of Mother Russia, there are several slithering snake pits just doing their snaky thing. Starting with Nikolai Morozov, known for using both emotional and physical abuse to control his children, to control his students, and when all else fails, he is not above dating them to control them. He is not really a dominant force in the game right now. However, you can never count this venomous snake out. Now, the most powerful ice dance coach in Russia is none other than Alexandra Zulin, who is more of a gutter snake than a grass snake. Every time he opens his mouth, poisonous shit comes out. Other notables from Russia also include Angelica Krolova, who I am personally betting on to rise as the new snake queen of Russia. Angelica has lived and thrived in the ice dance competitive dirty waters. She knows how to slither with the best of them. Angelica has both international and home goodwill. Her main team right now is Vasilisa Kaganovskaya as well as Maxim Nerazov. They're a relatively young team, but there is potential there. Another old snake queen who knows the game like the back of her scale is Natalia Lenashki. Once Russia is back in the game, we are likely to see her poke her head out of her snake pit. Now, you're probably wondering, why have I decided to delve into the snake in the grass pit of ice dance? Well, that is because the queen mama of the grass pit, the Medusa of ice dance, snake mama Marina Zoueva is making a grand comeback to the pit. How will IAM and all these baby snakes fare against snake mama Marina? Has Marina lost her poison? Or will these infant snakes fuck around and find out how Mama Marina does it? Let's get this started. So Marina Zoueva and Oleg Epstein will be coaching Maya Shibatani and Alex Shibatani for the Olympic cycle. I don't even know where to start. The Shibs made a quick retreat from figure skating after winning their bronze medal in 2018. They have not been on competitive ice for over 6 years. So now I need to know, is this a case of it's like riding a bike, you just get on it and then you go? Or is this a little too late? To make their way back to the Olympic team, they will have to start an at-home slaughter. Starting with Team MIDA, Mama Snake Marina will have to show Kenneth and Charlie how it's done by getting the Shibs ahead of both Green and Parson and Brady and Somerville. Once that's done, Marina will have to slither her way over to Novi and pluck off Igor's scales once again by knocking off Zingras and Kolesnik. But these are all appetizer. The main course is of course going to be the king of snack pit, IAM. To take away the US title or even a US silver medal, they have to go after IM. Let's say Marina and the Shibs want to play it safe and go for a silver medal. Marina will have to crush another of her baby snake, Scott Moyer, because the team that is currently in the silver position in the US right now is Carrera and Podomarenko, coached by Scott Moyer. Now, after Marina destroys Scott Moyer, i.e., gets the ship over Carrera and Podomarenko, they now have to go further if they want more than the silver. Does Mama Snake Marina still have what it takes to really get this job done? Now, if Marina and the Shibs are really ambitious and they want the US title, now this is going to be a hard sell. The judges have made it clear that the Olympic gold is reserved for chalk and bait. So if Marina wants to change the tide in favor of the Shib, they're going to have to form the most legendary snake pit alliances that has ever happened in figure skating. So if I'm Marina, I would start with my old friend Igor Spielberg. Listen, there are no lasting enemies in the snake pit. I would join force with Igor to block IM. The Shibs will take first place, knocking Chalk and Bates to second place, and we eliminate Carrera and Podomarenko, letting Zingras and Kolesnik take third place. That's the first deal I'm making if I'm Marina. Next, I would reach out to Barbara Fuzopoli. IAM is determined to keep the Italian team off the podiums, and the judges seem to be on board with this. So Barbara needs all the help that she can get. In an alliance with Marina, will benefit her. Finally, I would make the most vile of alliances that I could make. I would start with Nikolai Morozov. Listen, Annabelle Morozov, that poor girl, can't seem to keep a partner. I think it's all the bad karma that her father has accumulated, but that's neither here or there. If poor Annabelle cannot keep a partner, she's going to end up in the double-digit partner loss soon. So, if I'm Marina, I'm going to do this. I will make a simple exchange with Morozov. I will find a good partner for Annabelle, and I will also coach them for the next Olympic cycle. Not this one, the next one. Finally, for the most venomous of all snakes, Alexander Zulin, Marina could make a deal with them that Alexandra Stefanova and Ivan Bukin can get a top 8 finish at the Olympic when the Russians make a comeback. Now, what with that we would have, if I'm Marina, I would do this because this would enable me to fully encircle IM. If I can fully encircle IM on all part, Europe, Russia, and the US, then I think we could get the job done to get the Shibs another medal at the Olympic. Yes, people, welcome to the Snake Games, where everybody slithers their way to the top. Honestly, I have no idea what will happen with the return of the Shibs and Marina. IM also has their own new entry into this snake game because Guillaume Cizeron and Laurence Fournier-Boudry are now competing as a new pair for France. Where do they fit in the grander scheme of things? This team is problematic in several ways. First, we learned that Guillaume was less than a supportive partner to Gabriela Papadakis during a most horrible, difficult period in her life. However, is that enough to deny him a career if he wants to continue? And then we move on to Laurence Fournier-Boudry, whose former partner Nikolai Sorenstein is involved in a case so horrible that I could not even finish reading the article describing the victim's experience. Now, again, everything happened before Lawrence even met Nikolai. So, can Lawrence be held accountable for these events? I don't know. I don't know. My feeling about this team is very gray. In terms of their skating potential, I can see them as a new French and maybe even European champion. How far they can go, I would say depends on how much power IM is willing to put behind them and how much pulling of the string Didier can do behind the scene. Because let's not forget, that is the true king of the snake pit. The Olympic season promised to be one of the most dramatic seasons of ice dance in recent time, and I am here for all of the snake stabbing and tea. How plausible is another SHIB Olympic medal? I don't know, but I can't wait to see all the drama. On a more positive note, Ikura Kushida and Kashiro Shimada have announced they are going to be a new ice dance team. Kashiro Shimada, my inconsistent baby. But Ikura will still continue competing as a single. I love these two skaters separately, and I hope they are fabulous together because they are both personalities. So I think they could make such an interesting team. I'm really looking forward to see it. Anyways, this was my look into the ice dance coaching snake pit. You guys let me know in the comments which snake do you think will slither their way onto the champion ice. You guys let me know in the comment.